Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Jackson with a Twist, brought to you by Nevermore Decor Store. I'm Olivia with Experience Jackson, and today I'm joined by Dennis from Michigan's Military Heritage Museum. As I said, today we are joined by Dennis, and Dennis, you brought in some recipes since you're from Michigan's Military Heritage Museum surrounding World War I cocktails, which I love and I'm not familiar with. So before we get into it, tell us a little bit about what Michigan's Military Heritage Museum is all about.
Okay, we've been in existence for about 7 years now, and what we try to do is tell the story of Michigan's armed services, people that are involved with the military service, and we date back to, right now we're starting with America's 250 celebration, which is commemorating in 2026 250 years of United States of America. So we've got a Native American display, and we're bringing it all the way up to the present time. And what we try to do is tell stories of individuals, service members from Michigan. So as you go around the museum, you see lots of mannequins, lots of artifacts, and you'll see these little stories about this person or that person and the various conflicts, because we like to personalize it. Mm-hmm. And so when people come in, they can say, oh, that used to be, I used to have an uncle who was in this, or someone, a grandfather who was in this war or that war. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And you can be able to see a mannequin fully dressed and, you know, get an idea of what life was like back then.
Yeah, I've seen this space, and it truly is like traveling back in time. That storytelling aspect is so huge, and it's awesome. That's why that spot is such a must visit. So now we're going to get to the fun part. Not that hearing about America's history is not fun, but tell us a little bit about these cocktails we're going to make. So we're going to be making a monkey gland, which the story is iffy for me, but it's interesting for sure. And then a sidecar. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about these World War I cocktails.
Okay, the story is that they came from Harry's New York bar in Paris, mm-hmm. which was famous for inventing a number of cocktails such as the French 75, the Bloody Mary, the sidecar, the monkey gland, and some other ones. And the bartender there was named Harry McAlhorn, but he was from Dundee, Scotland. So I don't quite get the connection between Harry's and New York bar in Paris with a Scottish bartender, but that's the story, and somehow they all fit in. And so one of the first story is about the sidecar, and that was because there was a story that goes with it, was that there was an American officer being driven around Paris, and he was in a sidecar of a motorcycle. So they have a motorcycle with a sidecar, and his driver was driving him around Paris, and apparently he got sick. So the driver pulls into Harry's New York bar and says, you know, my captain's sick, do you have a drink for him to pick him up? And that's why they invented the sidecar. The second drink is called the monkey gland, and that was for a medical procedure. A number of soldiers were being wounded in the face because of the trenches, and they were sniping or lifting their heads out, so they have a number of facial wounds. And the medical procedure was they take skin grafts from monkeys and add it to the person's face to do some plastic surgery. This is basically the first war that this has ever been done.
Hey, I will say the ingredients in this drink sound pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and make it, and we'll tell you the recipe. Okay, so we're gonna start by making the sidecar cocktail. So Dennis, if you wanna take the lead, since you are the World War I cocktail pro, show me the ropes.
Here we go, Olivia. There's 1 ounce of brandy, and then we need the glass again.
Oh,
we're gonna add a 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. Normally we'd squeeze this, but since we're in a studio, we decided to use the pre-squeezed lemon juice. And we're gonna use 1/2 ounce of Control, which is an orange liqueur. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shake this.
All right, this is the fun part. All right, got our glasses ready.
Okay. Whoops.
Oh. All right. And we're adding lemons to this one, right?
Yes, we're going to garnish it with a lemon.
All right.
I'll let you do that.
We're just gonna stick it on there best we can. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, here we have sidecar. Okay, next up, this one's called the monkey gland, correct?
Yes.
All right, I just want to say, I love these glasses. These are so darling and cute. But this cocktail isn't that cute from the story that you're about to tell. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and make the cocktail.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to use 2/3 gin, which is 1.5 ounces for the drink. So if you pour that in, Olivia.
All right.
Then we're going to use 1/3, which would be a half an ounce of orange juice. We're going to use 3 shots of grenadine or 3 dashes of grenadine. And then we're going to use 3 dashes of Pernod, which is French or is absinthe, and it's a liqueur tasting liqueur. So it adds a little bit of flavor to it, different kind of flavor.
You just put a little bit of that in there.
Yes, about 3 dashes, which is about a little bit of a pour. So then I'm going to shake this,
I'll move this
and then we'll pour it into the glasses and plate it, as they say. Let's see if I can get it into the drink now.
Looks good. Nice. And then we'll share the love here, but we'll get those oranges on here. I'm excited about this one. This looks good. All right, monkey gland. So here we've got our cocktails. Let's give it a try. Remind me, this one is the monkey gland?
Yes.
All right, let's give it a try. You didn't cheers me, Dennis.
Oh.
Give me a cheers. That's pretty refreshing. The orange really comes through. I really like the orange aspect. That's a really good one. So you were just telling me a little bit about how Michigan's Military Heritage Museum is involved in the community. So can you tell the viewers a little bit about, how you're not just a landmark, a great attraction for our city, but kind of how you stay involved within our community?
Okay. Well, first of all, the building's location is on Camp Austin Blair, which was a Civil War camp where about 2/3 of Michigan troops mustered in or out of. So a number of troops came through Jackson. The railroad tracks are right where the troops would have been dropped off or picked up. The other way we get involved with the community is that we have a victory garden out front. And the victory garden was something reminiscent of World War I and World War II. The other way we do it is we also involved with Save Our Youth with Thomas Burke. So we have a number of high school interns that come in and work with us. And in fact, those are ones who are tending the garden and other projects around the museum.
Talked a little bit, or you touched on the lecture series. That's new, right?
Yes,
Tell
yes.
us a little bit about that.
Well, we've had some interesting speakers. We've had Sons of Confederate Veterans come up and give a talk. We've had Colonel Janet Horton, who was the first woman to reach the rank of colonel in the chaplaincy corps, and she was a Christian Scientist, and she was from Crystal, Michigan, and she came up and gave a talk. She now lives in Florida. We've had Dave Ingalls, who was our expert on Custer. He talked about General Custer's life and what he did. We're having Phil Nault come up. He's going to talk about the Civilian Conservation Corps. That's going to be in August. And we've also got someone coming up in September. I'm not sure of the date yet and the author, but he's wrote a book about the Native Americans in Michigan, and he's going to be giving a talk in September. I think we're still firming up that date. So,
well, it'll be on the Experience Jackson community calendar when it's ready.
Be.
So you can find it there. So after trying both of these, I got to say, I think I prefer the sidecar. What do you think?
Yeah, that's probably because it doesn't have that licorice taste.
I don't hate the licorice in this one.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So you guys are obviously all about the past and history, but I want to know what is next for you guys. What's coming up? What do you have planned for Michigan's Military Heritage Museum in the future?
Well, we've got a sort of long-range plans. The first plan, and what we're doing for display, is on the Americans' 250 celebration, and then in 2029 will be the bicentennial of Jackson, And so we want to get something going for that. We want to get speakers,
Yeah.
talking about the history. We want to get some artifacts so we can set up a display and let people know about the great history of Jackson. And then in 2035 to 37 is the bicentennial of the state of Michigan. And the reason why we have a 2-year date was because on the state seal, it says 1835.
Yeah.
That's when we were ready to be a state, but we weren't accepted into the United States until 1837.
Right.
And that's where they had the Toledo War, and there's a bunch of stuff you have to learn about the United States government. And it's a really interesting history, but we're getting ready for working on that too, because we want to have stuff ready for when the time comes.
That's so exciting. An eventful couple of decades ahead of us.
Yes.
So we're excited. Well, Dennis, thank you so much for joining us. Before we sign off, tell us where we can find Michigan's Military Heritage Museum, when you're open, all that good stuff.
Okay, we're located at 311 North Wisner, by the corner of Wisner and Wildwood in Jackson. We're open Wednesday, Friday, Saturday from 11 till 5, Sunday from 12 till 4. We're on the, if you search the web, we're on the web. We're also a Facebook page. And one other thing I was just going to mention, in November, we're doing an animation from the heavy metal band Sabaton. This is it's called the War to End All Wars. It's an hour long, and we're one of the few museums in North America that are showing this. And so if you're interested, or you're interested in heavy metal, or if you're interested in Sabaton, give us a look and stop by and watch the movie.
That's a fun little tidbit that you got there. That's exciting. That'll be cool. I don't know if I've seen anything like that here before, so that'll be interesting.
There isn't.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Experience Jackson and follow us. Find Michigan's Military Heritage Museum and follow them as well. Pay them a visit. Thank you all. Cheers, Dennis. Thank you for teaching me a bit about Jackson's history today, and don't forget to drink responsibly.